Hi, this is Margaret from dataminingdna.com, and this is a demo of using our Excel workbook to set up the Leeds method for Ancestry DNA matches. The Leeds method is a method to cluster your DNA matches. It was developed by Dana Leeds, and you can get full information for it on Dana's website at danaleeds.com. Data Mining DNA Excel Workbook contains a few helpful functions such as a macro which will help automate the copying of your Ancestry match list, whether it's 40, 50, 60 DNA matches, into a spreadsheet rather than typing them out by hand. We've also got a sample worksheet with color coding that uses colors similar to Ancestry's group colors, and this will facilitate you if you want to switch from using a spreadsheet to using Ancestry's group color coding scheme to follow the method. We'll put a link to an article in the description below on our blog, which goes through the full details of a case study of applying the Leeds method to my own DNA matches on Ancestry. There'll be a link in the description below to allow you to go get the workbook. Once you've got it, make a copy of it so you can reuse the originals. When you open your copy, there's extra security that Excel provides for running macros, and you're going to be looking for a security warning. So you're going to click on Enable Content to enable the macros, and we'll show you all that in this demo. So no further PowerPoint presentation, we're going to jump right in to a working demo. So this is a folder on my local machine. I've downloaded the Data Mining DNA Leeds Method workbook. It is a Microsoft Excel binary worksheet. What that means is that it's an Excel spreadsheet that can run macros. So I'm going to make a copy of it because we are going to change the contents in the workbook. I'm going to make a copy of the original so I can just reuse it and start again if need be. So I will call this my kit. Now I'm going to open the My Kit copy, and just notice up here that there's a security warning. By default, macros have been disabled. So you click on here to enable content. That will allow you to run the single macro that is within this particular workbook. We'll click on Enable Content, and we're on the instructions page. So just follow the instructions step by step. The step one is to apply your custom centimorgan range to the Ancestry match list. So you're going to filter your Ancestry match list down to a particular range of matches that we're going to copy into our spreadsheet. So here on my Ancestry match list page, which has no filters applied, click on the Shared DNA, which will allow you to enter a custom centimorgan range. The recommended maximum is 400 centimorgan. That means that you will be limiting your upper DNA matches to about second cousin. The lower is your choice. This demo is in support of me doing a case study on working with fourth cousins. You may not want to do that. You may be working solely with second to third cousins, so you may want to apply a higher limit. So I'm just going to apply that filter. At this point, you need to scroll down to the end of your match list, of your filtered match list, because you want to get all your matches visible on the page. So that's important, right? So on step 2 here, we're scrolling down to the end of the filtered match list page. Now, that's not going to be a whole lot of scrolling because there is about 50 matches per page. So if I scroll down a little bit here, yeah, everything was on the same page for me. If you're using 100 matches, then you may have to scroll and make the page reload the next set of 50 matches. Just make sure you get to the end. Because what we're going to do, we're going to apply step 3. We're going to copy the entire web contents of that page using Control A to highlight all and Control C to copy. And we're going to copy it into the Splat worksheet. And the Splat worksheet is simply the next page. So I'm literally going to Control A. That copies the entire contents, and that's text and images. We'll sort that out in a second. And now I'm going to Control C. Control C is putting the entire contents into my clipboard. Now go back to your spreadsheet, and the instructions are to paste it into the Splat worksheet. Now what's important here is the next line, that you're not just doing a standard paste. You're going to do a paste special, and you're going to choose the text option. That means you're going to leave the images behind. Otherwise, you get all those photographs, those avatars from Facebook, which is just a waste of space. So just move over from the instructions page to page 2, which is the Splat page. And here I'm right-clicking, and I'm choosing paste options, paste special. Paste special, and of your three options, you don't want to take HTML because that will include all the images. You want to take the bottom option here, which is text. And that just splats, technical term, all the content into the spreadsheet, but without any images. So a couple of things here. You will see names in this demo spreadsheet. I have modified the names, so none of the names represent my matches. The other thing to notice is you may also see blank rows in your spreadsheet. The next step is important because it eliminates those blank rows. The reason we need to eliminate them is that when the macro comes to a blank row, it thinks it's come to the end of the page and it stops. So having splattered the content into the spreadsheet, we're going to go to the next step, which is to find and select those blanks, and then we're going to delete the blank cells. Back to the splat page sheet. Over here to the top right, click on Find and Select, and click on Go to Special. And here you want to choose blanks. So we're going to click on the blanks option and click OK. And what that does is it selects all the blank cells in spreadsheet contents. From here we just want to delete. So up here in the cells section, you just click on delete. And what that does, it just deletes all those blank rows. That just lets the macro get to the end. So back to the instructions. We are now going to run this macro. So how do we run a macro? Just make sure you're on the work page that you want to run the macro on. We're on the splat page here. And to run a macro in Excel, go to the developer. I just clicked on developer here. And over here towards the left is your option to view macros. So if you click on that, and what this is opening for me, there is only one macro in our Leeds Method workbook. So it opens and it's highlighted for me, and the macro name is highlight match names with centimorgan. Now you may see a lot more because quite often it opens like this. It opens showing you all the macros in all open workbooks. So you may actually see a lot of other macros that you may have set up yourself or use in different spreadsheets. So just to find the one that's in the Data Mining DNA workbook, switch this view to say only look at the My Kit workbook, and you will just see the one macro. So just choose that particular macro and click run. And it's complete. So with 100 matches, I mean, it's going to run in a second. It should be really fast. And what you will see that it's done is that for every match name, it's highlighted the match name in red, and we've just pulled the centimorgan up into a cell beside the match name. That's simply because I like to see the centimorgans in the match list page. So all our matches are highlighted in red, and that lets us do the magic. So if I just go back to the instructions, I've finished step 7. Now, just for convenience, it just makes a later step a little easier. We're going to change the column headings to matches and CM, centimorgan. So I'm just going to change this first cell. I'm going to call it matches, and I'm going to call the second cell CM. Not mandatory, but it makes life easier. So once you've done that, we're going to add a filter, and we're going to filter by the red color. Just clicking on the top row there, or the top cell, go back to the home menu item up here. Just click on the home there. And over here to the right, under editing, is the sort and filter. Expand the filter menu items and click on filter. And that gives us these two filters here. And the filter we're going to apply when we expand matches column is we're going to filter by color. And this is why we picked this nice bright red color. So just click on that, and now you see we get, for me, it's about 30 matches with their centimorgan beside them. Once that's done, back to the instructions. The next step is we're going to copy the filtered contents of both columns, and then we're going to paste it into a particular cell. It's the A2 cell of the color chart worksheet. So just go back to that page, and now we just want to highlight all the matches here that are filtered along with centimorgan. We're going to Control C, copy. I'm going to go to this third worksheet, the color chart, and in the A2 cell where I've actually got a handy little paste here label, I'm going to click into that, going to right click and click paste special. Now at this point, if you want to bring that bright red color in, just click paste. Just click OK straight away because we've got all selected and it'll bring over the formatting. I don't particularly want the bright red to come over, so I'm going to click on values and I'm going to click OK. And here we have our matches and our centimorgan. Just put a bold on centimorgan matches. And here is our list ready to run the Leeds method. And that is it. That was the final step in your instructions. So just a word on the color coding here. This is purely for convenience that we've included this. You can choose your own colors, of course. So what we've done is we've set out 4 colors where a perfect outcome of the Leeds method is that all your matches just fall very conveniently into 4 color clusters, each one corresponding to a single grandparent line. That usually is not what happens. Usually you get a few more groups and clusters that you're going to have to do research. So we've just given you a few extra columns with a few distinct colors. Now, why have we picked this particular color palette? I'm just going to toggle over to this final sheet here. What I've got here is the colors that correspond to the Ancestry group colors. Let me just switch back to Ancestry to show you what I'm talking about. If I go to my groups page and I say create custom group, assign a color, this is the Ancestry color palette. And what can be quite useful is, but down the line you might want to use the same methods through the group color coding. So it kind of makes a lot of sense to align your spreadsheet with the colors that Ancestry offers. That made sense for me. So what I did for my own purposes was, when I was deciding what colors I was going to use to represent whatever 4 lines plus an extra 4, try to set up a palette in Excel that corresponds with the Ancestry group colors. Now, it's my best guess. I'm not the most visual person in the world, so this looked to me like they were similar colors. Feel free to change it. It was purely a matter of convenience. Okay, so that's that. That's the demo of setting up. There's a link in the description below to an article that is going through a full case study of me applying the Leeds method to primarily a whole lot of my 4th cousins, simply because I have a very small number of 2nd and 3rd cousins. The article will reference this video if you want to go and check out the entire article. Hope that helps, and best of luck with your research.